For those of you that don't know, I'm Maggie, and we are finally at all of my favorite things from 2019. And in true fashion, my channel is kind of all over the place as far as topics are concerned. I have so many interests, and when I started a YouTube channel, I did not want to pigeonhole myself. So I've divided up all my favorites into 4 different categories, and we're gonna try to get through all 4 categories in one video. We'll see if this ends up being broken up into 2. And the 4 categories are beauty, fitness, work and travel. I kind of put together because for me, those things go hand in hand. And then also my home favorites. So why don't we just go ahead and start in alphabetical order and do beauty. I'm in the middle of editing this video and I'm realizing that I didn't quite explain how I was gonna do these products in the beauty realm. So I'm not gonna show you every single product of every beauty product that I like because I'm only gonna show you those that I discovered in 2019 or what I discovered in 2019. So be aware that you're not going to have a product for every category. That's it. So the first thing I actually got from a FabFitFun box, and it is this hair towel. I always thought that these were so unnecessary and just not that useful. Like, why couldn't you just put another towel on your head when you got ready? Or in my case, I used to dry off with the towel and then put it on my head and immediately get dressed. These towels have just been so nice. I don't have to take my hair out of the towel when I go to actually get dressed because it's not super bulky when it's actually wrapped on your head. So you can easily fit your shirts over it, and then that way you don't have to deal with wet hair down your back or anything like that. This has been a huge discovery for me. I wash these as often as I wash my towels, so probably once a week, and it stayed in really great shape. I've heard of other people who complained about their button falling off, but that seems like an easy enough thing to fix. So no complaints about this. I love it. Right after I get out of the shower or right after I wash my face, the first thing that I'm going to do is use a toner, and I have loved this Paula's Choice Resist Advanced Replenishing Toner. Now, I got this at the start of the winter season, and that is a huge thing to keep in mind here because in the winter, my skin is extremely dry, and in the summer, my skin is pretty greasy, like I have more acne-prone skin when things are hot. So I was in search of a moisturizing toner more so than like an exfoliating kind of acid-based toner. And this really fit the bill. I thought that this has done a great job of just adding a little bit of drink of moisture back to the skin while also just evening out the skin tone, taking away a little bit of that redness. So I've really enjoyed this, but I've kind of flown through it. It's 4 fluid ounces. I definitely fly through it. I'll have to see if they have a bigger bottle next time. Next up, I would use some sort of exfoliating product. This is the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA Liquid Exfoliant. Now, in some of my previous videos, I did mention that I prefer the gel format, and that is still the case, but I have liked this liquid one. I think that it still works as effectively. If you have enlarged pores, if you have weird texture on your skin, if you want to see results and get better skin when you wake up in the morning, use this stuff before you go to bed at night. Seriously, this is one of those powerhouse products that you really visibly see a difference, and you can't say that about a ton of skincare. But on the same vein, with both of those liquid products, these have been another favorite, and these are my reusable kind of cloth cotton rounds. I've used these in place of buying the disposable ones, and at first I was a little nervous because my mom brought up a good point that your washing machine can actually be pretty germy, and so she was like, just monitor your skin. If you start to get a lot of breakouts, maybe switch back. I really haven't seen any issues or anything. These came with a pack of, I want to say 15 or 20 in a little white drawstring bag, and I can just throw them in with my whites when I wash my clothes and they come out perfectly pristine, even if they had a little bit of makeup on them or something like that. These have just been wonderful. They make a ton of different types of these on Amazon. I'll try to link these exact ones because I know I can trust them, and they really don't soak up too much product. That was my chief concern switching over to something like this. They really don't soak up too much, so don't be worried about that. If you've been thinking about making the switch and getting rid of buying those disposable cotton rounds, I can attest that I've really enjoyed using these. So next up in the daytime, I would go in with an SPF, and again, Paula's Choice is winning the race for me. This is the part of their Resist line, and it's the Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense with Broad Spectrum SPF 30. And this is a semi-tinted SPF and primer. It is not marketed as a primer. This is marketed as kind of a moisturizer. Yeah, so on the back, it simply says moisturize. I don't agree. So if you're somebody that has super dry skin in the winter like me, do not rely on this to be your daytime moisturizer. Now, this is something on days when I don't wear a ton of makeup, I can actually get away with just putting this on. No, it does not necessarily provide coverage, but I do think that it evens out your skin tone enough to just look nice, and you just look a little bit more perfected. So this stuff I've really, really loved. Will definitely be repurchasing this. Love it. Next up, I would go in with my favorite MISSHA Perfect Cover BB Cream. Now, I haven't tried a lot over the year. Once I discovered this last year, I just know that I love it. It's so easy. One pump in the hands, rub it all over your face, no tools needed. I have belabored this point a million times. I had somebody comment on the previous video where I mentioned this, and they were like, it's not safe to buy your makeup and your skincare on Amazon. I think that that's a little bit too broad of a statement. This says that it's sold by MISSHA, and so that's why I trust it, and that's why I purchase it off there. The reviews are wonderful on Amazon. Nobody seems to have issues with it. So I think just moral of the story, do your due diligence before you buy things like this on Amazon. But the versions that have come to me, and this is my third bottle, have never caused issues. My skin is perfectly fine when I use it. I trust it. Okay, next up, bronzer, and I have two different types. One is this Bare Minerals Invisible Bronzer. So it's a super light color, but it just applies so easily and so nicely, and it doesn't look like a fake tan on your face. I have mine in the color Fair to Light, and that works perfectly well for my skin tone without being like overly bronzy. But then I also had to mention this Physicians Formula one because this is the first time that I've ever really gotten excited about a cream product ever. This stuff goes on so easily. You just do a stripe here, and I just do little dots up here and here, and you just buff it out, and it looks so nice and so natural. Again, it kind of gives off the same look as this powder bronzer, just not fake. It's not too orange toned. Really like it. Speaking of, this brush has been my absolute favorite brush discovery of the year, and this comes from EcoTools. This is the blending and bronzing brush, and it looks a little bit like a stippling brush, but this just does such a good job of applying bronzer in such a big, like brushed out kind of way. It doesn't concentrate the product on your skin, and this works great for powder bronzers and cream bronzers. This I could not recommend anymore. Of all the things that I discovered this year, I think that this may be my favorite, most versatile, most useful. As far as powder goes, I had been really, really into the Laura Mercier loose setting powder. I bought that like 2 or 3 times, and it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but then I was like, going into these winter months, I want something with a little bit of luminosity, just because my skin can kind of look a little bit dull, and I discovered this powder. This is the Candleglow Sheer Perfecting Powder, again from Laura Mercier. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. It's truly no cheaper than that like loose setting powder, but I wanted something that was in a compact, and I wanted something with a little bit of sheen that wasn't sparkly, and this fits the bill. In fact, I was wearing this all over my face. I have it on today too, just so you can see it adds a little bit of a sheen without looking greasy. I had this on in my CosBox unboxing, and I got so many compliments from people being like, you're glowing in this video. It's this. Okay, next up I would apply blush, and I have loved this. This comes from Walmart. It's from the brand Found. It's their Baked Illuminating Blush in the shade 80 Rose Glow. And this is just such a nice swirled kind of shimmery, like mix between a highlight and a blush. So it's kind of a one-step thing. Now you need to just dab your brush in this and put it on your cheeks because it's extremely pigmented. So beware, but it looks like I've never touched this, never used this, and I haven't stopped using this. So it's gonna last me a really long time. I think it's a good deeper shade for the winter months. Next up, I would go to eyes, and the only super notable eye product that I got this year was the Maybelline Color Tattoos. I dragged my feet on purchasing these. I had heard about them for years, and I got 2 shades. I got one in Socialite and one in Front Runner. Socialite is the shade specifically that I wanted to mention. It's this kind of rosy color, so it's a little bit unexpected. It's not the typical kind of champagne eyeshadow colors that I wear all the time. It goes on super easily. You rub your finger in it, you put it on the lids, you're done. Okay, we're getting to the end. As far as brow products go, the one that I'm currently using is the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Pencil. This one is wonderful, but the reason that I wanted to mention an eyebrow product at all is because I've realized that I have an extreme preference for teeny tiny skinny pencils. I tried to use thicker, more emollient ones, and I just couldn't control it. I've had really bad luck with some of the liquidy, kind of like tinted things that you brush through your brows. No, I've just learned that my preference is for these skinny pencils, and I have really liked this one specifically, but I just wanted to throw that out that I had that realization this year. And last product in the beauty realm is this Skylar Salt Air. This was my favorite scent that we received all year in the Skylar Scent Club. I'm gonna put it on now. I traveled with this to Croatia and Greece, so it brings back a lot of good memories whenever I use it. It's so fresh, it's so crisp, and Skylar actually is coming out with this in a full-size bottle. It's gonna be part of their permanent line, available for purchase, and I think that they're announcing it today when I'm filming it, January 11th. Super exciting. I definitely intend to pick up a bottle for myself because this, I'm just so excited. I really, really love it. So if you like really fresh, clean scents that smell a little bit like the ocean, salt air. Okay, since we started going in alphabetical order, we'll just continue that. And next up is the category of fitness. And so this is equipment, clothes, all the things that I've been using lately this past year. Okay, so next up I wanted to mention this sports bra, and this is the Women's Light Support Sports Bra from Nike. I disagree with light support. I feel like light support is when it doesn't have any of these little like padded cups in it. This definitely does have this, and I've used this for extremely high impact things. So don't let the name fool you. I just think that the style is so neat. It's kind of hard to see when I'm holding it up like this, but it has this little additional strip that just adds a little bit of style. It also has this little ventilated area right here so that you're not like sweating and it's not collecting and stuff on your bra so it doesn't show as easily. I think that it supports really well. That's why I was shocked that it's a light support bra. I think it looks really cute when you wear it with just like high-waisted leggings. It just looks cute. It looks like a, I don't know, like a stylish top instead of just a normal sports bra. And it's only like 25 bucks. I got my specific color from an outlet mall. So the ones offered online, they have a white, a black, and like a teal color. And I have mine in the size small. Okay, next up. I'm including this in fitness, but this is kind of more like leisure. However, I did work out in these for the first time ever recently. And I've mentioned these before, and these are the Airy Real Me high-waisted 7/8 leggings. These are the same like buttery, thinner fabric like the Lululemon Align leggings, but for like 1/4 of the price. These I typically use to run errands, to lounge around the house, whatever, because they are so thin. They definitely don't provide a lot of support. I like to feel a little bit more sucked in when I'm working out. I like things to be a little bit tighter. So these are just a looser fit, but they definitely get the job done. I've seen a lot of people at the studio where I work out wear these to work out in. You definitely can. Now I have mine, I think, in an extra small short. Yes, you can only get short and long sizes like those special sizing online, but in store you can buy the typical extra small, small, medium, large, whatever. The thing with the short is that for me, because I'm a short person, it truly makes it a 7/8 legging versus like a full size legging. Next up, I have really, really loved, these are kind of my funky leggings, the Wonder Under leggings from Lululemon. Now, a lot of my friends are like, no, Maggie, those are too thick. You should not like working out in those. But I do. I really do. They are on the thicker side. I think that they're a very flattering looking legging, and they're high-waisted but not too high-waisted. So for me, as a short person, you have to be really careful with high-waisted jeans or leggings or whatever, because my torso is a lot shorter than the average person. And so these high-waisted leggings specifically are not too high. And I also like their leggings because they don't make this so tight that it's like squeezing you, because that can look really unflattering, but most importantly be extremely uncomfortable. If you're willing to spend a little money, these are the Wonder Under. Now, in Vlogmas, if you watched, I went on this whole rant about spin shoes and why I like certain ones and why I don't like others. The primary classes that I like to do are spin and then that hot Pilates class. When I spin, I do have my own shoes because a lot of studios near me charge you $3 to rent their shoes every time you walk in the door. So over time, it was just a lot more economical for me to own my own. And so these specifically, again, are from the brand Tium, and I like these because they look just like a normal tennis shoe. These actually have the clip embedded in the bottom of the sole. They are a little bit more expensive than your typical spin shoe, but it's worth it. These have been a very worthwhile investment, and I wear these at least 2 or 3 times a week. They still look great. I would recommend going with the black. I have some friends with the white and the light blue, and theirs have looked dirty over time, and they were like, dang, I kind of wish I would have gotten the black. I also went with black because it matches all of my workout clothes, which is kind of shallow, but anyway, my yoga mat. Now, this might be cheating because I really truly just got this like a couple days before the new year, but this I bought off Amazon for like $25. It came with its own little elastic carrying case thing, and it's double-sided. It's the 1/4 inch. It's a very typical width of a yoga mat, and the reason I had to do this is because the yoga mat that I had gotten from FabFitFun, the one from Anthropologie, was so thin that it just wasn't really protecting my knees and different things when I was going to use a yoga mat. So I did end up having to buy a new one, and I'll either donate that one or save it for a rainy day or something. But this has been so good. It just seriously makes such a difference when you have that proper thickness of a yoga mat. It got here really quickly. It's dual-sided, so I always use the navy side on top and this kind of like textured blue, light blue side on the actual ground. Works really well. Not much else to say. It didn't have a chemically smell. It's not made with like PVC or harmful chemicals or anything like that. So that was kind of what led me to buy it, and it was such a wonderful price point. So along the same lines, I can't show it to you because it's in the washing machine right now. It's also a yoga towel that I bought to go on top of the yoga mat. On one side, it's just a plain towel, and if you flip it over on the other side, it has these little pods of like grippy things on the bottom of the towel so that when you lay it on top of your yoga mat, it stays in place. And the reason you would use a towel like that is in a situation where you're going to do a ton of sweating, because yoga mats can be inherently a little bit slippery. And so I just lay that towel down on top. It's the exact length of my yoga mat, and as I'm doing those hot Pilates classes, as I mentioned earlier, it has just done such a great job of keeping me stable, of keeping the yoga mat safe, and kind of just soaking up that excess sweat that's falling down in the middle of class. I needed to get some type of yoga mat cleaner, especially because it is a hot class. I just feel like it's really germy. You definitely need to clean off the yoga mat after you use it, even when you have that wet towel on top of it, because that sweat's just kind of soaking into the mat. I opted for this Astra Yoga Mat Detox. It's a yoga mat cleaner. It's in the scent Uplifting Eucalyptus, and to my knowledge, this is a pretty clean cleaner. It's just water, essential oils, coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, witch hazel, hemp seed oil, tea tree extract, tea tree oil. It's an organic yoga mat cleaner that's safe for yoga mats. It's safe for me because when you are laying down on top of it and like breathing into it when you're in a plank or something, I just wanted something that's a little bit more natural so that I'm not inhaling chemicals. I just spray a couple of sprays on the mat, and it came with a microfiber cloth to help you clean it off. I really like this. It's a little bit pricey. It's like $10.95 if you are looking for something on the more natural side for the same purpose. I would go with this. I had thought about getting some of the wipes, but I feel like overall this was just a little less wasteful. So that's everything for fitness. Okay, next we are moving on to home items. The first thing that I want to mention is scrunchies. Now you're like, what? Doesn't that fit into beauty? Maybe. I don't know, but in my video it's fitting into home. I was somebody that was pretty outspoken when I got a pack of scrunchies in a cause box, and I was like, I don't like the scrunchie trend. And you know what? I'm sticking to my guns. I still don't like the scrunchie trend, but I love to sleep in these. Oftentimes I will try not to wash my hair like every single day. So if I've styled my hair one day and I'm going to sleep and I can wake up and just throw some dry shampoo in it the next day, I want to ensure that I'm not going to get a big lump in the back of my head. And these scrunchies have done such a good job of keeping your hair like untouched, basically. Like I always put it into like a little half bun thing, and I wake up the next day, I can take it down and I can go. So scrunchies have been an absolute lifesaver for my nighttime getting ready for bed routine. Along the same lines-ish in getting ready or routines is my robe. I used to like always get out of the shower, immediately get dressed, and then get fully ready with my whole outfit on. And I'm somebody who tends to sweat when I'm blow drying my hair and I have all that heat coming on me. And so I finally got into a good habit this year of putting on my robe fresh out of the shower if I've showered that morning or that night while I get ready for bed. And I have specifically loved this waffle weave robe. Now I mentioned a similar one in my gift guide for girls, and a lot of you were like, yes, like this robe was awesome. So I'll be sure to link something similar. This was given to me as a gift, and I actually cut the tag out long ago because it bothered my neck. So I don't know what specific brand this is, but I'll be sure to link one extremely similar for you. This next one is weird. I'm sorry, it just is. But that is this tongue scraper. I've used tongue scrapers for years and years and years. I'm somebody that struggles, especially in the winter, with just constant, like drip down my throat, sniffles and things like that. And these just do such a good job of making sure that your breath doesn't smell bad even during those times. What is this? What do you use it for? They don't all look like this. This just happened to be the ones that I bought off Amazon recently. But when I got the flu, backing up a little bit, I had to throw away my tongue scraper because I wanted to throw away things that were just germy and stuff. So I went 2 weeks without one because I kept forgetting to order one. And it made such a difference. Like, my mouth just didn't feel as clean. And in that time period, I realized a tongue scraper really is something that I can't go without. And so all you do is you brush your teeth and then you rinse your mouth out, and then you just use the tongue scraper to scrape a couple of times just to get any of the excess yuckiness out of your mouth. And it seriously makes such a difference. Your mouth will feel so much cleaner. If you've never tried using one, I encourage you to do so. They're extremely inexpensive, so if you hate it, not a big deal, but I think that you will notice a big difference. I really think you will. And also, this might be cheating a little bit, but this is my cookbook stand that I got for Christmas. This is something that I know I've wanted and needed for so long because I hate when cookbooks don't lay flat open, and so then you have to constantly like flip back to the page and your hands are dirty or whatever it may be. And this one comes specifically from Crate & Barrel. It folds down really nicely, so if you need to store this just like a book somewhere, or if you need to put it in a cabinet, you have the option to do that, which is great. It doesn't have to take up counter space all the time. But this is what a book looks like on it. And the thing that I love about it is that it has this kind of guard. It has this clear shield so that when you're cooking, things don't splatter on it. You don't get your messy hands on it when you're reading the recipe and trying to follow along. So this is something that I'm so excited to finally have. It's a little thing. It's something I could have bought myself ages ago probably, but I really did some thinking about what would make the perfect cookbook stand and then like searched for it. So that one specifically came from Crate & Barrel. I want to say that it was around the $30 price point. So if you have somebody in your life that loves to cook, that could be a really, really good gift for them. It is my Vitruvi Essential Oil Diffuser. This year, even though I'm burning a candle right now, was the year that I really used essential oils more than I ever have before. I love coming up with my own combos for them. I just love the way they make my house smell. And I love that this diffuser has like a 4-hour setting so that it goes for a really long time. It has a ceramic outside. It's very sleek. It looks nice in any space. It has this very minimalist little white light that's optional for you to turn on. Now this one is on the pricier end. It's like $120. So I know it's super expensive, but for me, I didn't want to have to repurchase like 4 different super cheap essential oil diffusers because you end up being around the same price as if you had just invested up front. This essential oils diffuser specifically doesn't use heat to diffuse the oils. It actually uses a like supersonic vibration that creates the steam and like makes it go. Heat can actually mess with the integrity of the oils. Now, not that I'm that into it, I don't really know, but I do know that these are way easier to clean because growing up we had like a heat-based essential oil diffuser and it would get sticky and gunky and grimy, and it is imperative to clean that out all the time. This is just one quick wipe, nothing's sticky, nothing's gunky. It's perfect. And hopefully this video is not like 10 million years long. But last, we are finally on the last category, and that is work and travel. For both purposes, work and travel, I have loved my AirPods. This has made taking the millions of calls that I have per day at work so much easier. You can leave these in, you can still talk with your friends, you can listen to music when you're not on a call, and when you have to take the earbud out to help your friend at work or answer one of their questions, it automatically pauses the music or podcast that you're listening to. They stay in your ear so well. I have talked about these a million times. I sing their praises because they've been so useful. I don't know how I lived without them. I hope that they continue to make the first generation ones in case I ever need a new pair, because I really can't use the new Pro version that they've come out with, so eek. Next up is my wireless mouse. This is something I've never mentioned because I don't typically talk a lot about like my day job on this channel. I work at a computer like all day, every day, and I have loved this Logitech mouse. It's wireless, and so it has this little piece that sits in like a USB port of my computer, and it's silent touch. So like I'm clicking right now, and you can barely even hear anything. So it doesn't have that annoying click, which I love. It's super quiet. It's really compact, it's ergonomic on my hand, so if you're right-handed, it's very comfortable to use. It's held up for so long. I've had this thing for multiple years. I had to give it a shout out in case you were in the market. If you have a mouse that's wired into your computer, it can be so annoying, especially when you're traveling and want to pull this out on the go. This Logitech one specifically is my favorite. It's not super expensive. They have it in different colors. I just liked the gray because it matched my computer. Love this thing. Next up is a planner. I am a huge planner person. In fact, this is my personal life / YouTube planner, and then I also have my like real job planner. They both come from the same brand. They were both purchased at Target. I finally pinpointed my favorite types of planners. And that perfect formula for a planner are those that have a space for every single day of the week so that I can add my to-do items for those specific days, but then also an additional space just for notes. At work, I get on calls all the time and I want to take quick notes while I'm listening. I want to take quick notes and be sure that I'm not forgetting anything, but I don't want it to clutter up the limited space that I actually have for things to do that day. And so having that additional note space makes such a difference for me. These are from the brand Blue Sky, and this was a collaboration with Cupcakes and Cashmere, who I know is kind of a popular blogger lifestyle person. It was pretty inexpensive. I want to say like $12 or so. So if I can find it, I'll be sure to link it for you. And some bigger ticket items that I couldn't fail to mention. One, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on because I've talked to you about this a million times. This is the Solo New York travel backpack that I have gone on and on and on about in a million different videos. I love the fact that it opens much like a suitcase. So when I'm traveling for leisure and just on my own, this is the backpack that I always travel with, never go without it. If you want to see more about the features of this backpack and why I love it so much, I'll be sure to link the videos where I did an entire packing video of this backpack and kind of showed you all of its different features and how much it can actually hold. And we can't forget about my trusty away luggage. Now this one specifically is in their carry-on size, but I also use their bigger carry-on a lot too. Most of the time when I'm traveling for work, it's for like 2 and 3 days at a time, and so the smaller carry-on works perfectly. But in winter months when things are a little bit bulkier, I tend to go for that bigger carry-on. I just think that the away luggage bags are so thoughtfully designed. You can pack so much in them. They just give you the perfect amount of space. It opens directly in the middle, so you don't just have a big pit area to pack in with just one thin little thing over the top. It just keeps things so much more organized. It evenly distributes the weight. I have used these non-stop for years and have no signs of them slowing down. The wheels are still perfect, the handles are still perfect. Sure, they get some scratches and scuffs here and there, but that's nothing that a magic eraser can't fix. I have made approximately 1 million videos talking about away luggage, reviewing the different sizes, helping you determine if it's right for you. So I'll be sure to link that playlist down below as well. And I have a link that can actually get you $20 off of your first purchase from Away. So if you're interested in that luggage, if you've been in the market, I cannot recommend it enough. 10 years later, we are at the end of this 2019 favorites video. I hope that you enjoy learning about things from different areas of my life, in different categories, and hopefully you found some really great things yourself. So if you have other products that you've been loving in 2019, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. So if you like this video, then like it, stick around, subscribe, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!